Everybody, welcome back to another 1993 Honda Prelude SI video. Well, this week I think I'm going to do one of my favorite things, and that is actually remove the wheels and clean and detail the calipers and the rotors. Stay tuned. With the wheel off, this is what I'm going to be cleaning. It's not too bad, but I would like to get rid of all the brake dust and then probably paint the rotor so it's not quite so rusty. So got my trusty toothbrush and degreaser, and we're going to get started. Well, that was not bad at all. While I let that dry, I'm going to go ahead and straighten these H logos. A couple of them are off center a little bit, and of course the bottom of the H needs to point to the valve stem if you're a real purist. So I'll go ahead and pop that out and fix that. I should add, I'm only doing the fronts today. I'm not going to do the rears. I did order some rear mud flaps, which I will have probably next week, at which point I'll have to remove those wheels and install those mud flaps. So I'll clean those and paint those then. So for this week, it's just going to be the fronts. And I'm just going to give this a nice coat with this high heat, basically barbecue paint. It's black and it's what I have. I'm just spraying some, and then I'm going to brush it on because it's just easier that way. So, you know, it's going to end up looking better. So I'll give this a coat. Well, this wasn't dirty at all. So I got a coat of the barbecue paint on all the black surfaces, and I'm just gonna put this one back together. Hardly worth videoing, but I just wanted to document that this is the kind of stuff that I'm doing to this car. And all my cars, actually. I don't always show that, but I do tend to do this with every single car that I get. On to the next side. All right, rinse and repeat for the passenger side. So you can see it's really not that bad. Just a little tidying up, that's all I'm gonna do. This passenger's front is done. I'm gonna put this wheel on, and then I am done working in the sun because it is hot right now. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. I am back with limited daylight, unfortunately. It's been so hot, it's really hard to do this in the middle of the day. And I really wanted to pull this outside instead of being in the garage, but I'm gonna quickly clean and paint the rears. And I did order and receive some rear mud flaps. So I was able to get these two fasteners installed, but there's one there that I needed to remove the wheel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. Both sides done. I didn't show it because obviously me painting parts is not exciting, but that's all painted. Mostly, I just wanted to take the wheel off so I could secure that final screw right there, and also so I could fix the H emblem so that the bottom of it points the valve stem. That's still wet, as you can see, but I am done for tonight. We'll pick this up again later. One last thing I wanted to show. I ordered this period correct hood bra for the Prelude. I like the way it looks, and I mean, you wouldn't normally put this on a new car, but this car is of the age where they were actually very popular back then. So personally, I like it. I think it completes the look, and I'll leave it on. You can always take it off very easily. Of course, that's something you take off when you wash it. You don't leave that on. But for right now, I'm quite happy with that. Next project. These hood-mounted squirters were replaced sometime in the past, and they look new, but the problem is these are supposed to be painted the color of the car. So we're gonna change that. Now I'm gonna pop those out, hope that they don't break, and I'm gonna paint them. Well, they both removed without breaking, which leads me to believe they're probably not that old, but they do have the gasket with them. I'm very surprised, actually. So I'm gonna clean these up. They have some wax residue, and then I will do my best to kind of tape them off, and we will paint them the body color. Well, what I decided to do, I was going to try to tape off this center part here. But I think what I'm going to do is, rather than trying to cut a little piece of tape, I'm just going to paint the whole thing red and then probably brush paint that inside there. So as you can see it. Anyway, let's get going. Well, here I am on my mobile paint booth, which is also known as a Porsche Boxster. Anyway, I did a coat of adhesion promoter and then some primer, and now I've got the base coat painted. I just have these taped to some paintbrushes. Both of them are done, drying in the sun. Let these dry for a bit, and then I will put a coat of 2K clear on here. This is one that I've had in the freezer for many, many months. And I find that once you open it and activate the hardener, you know, typically it'll last for maybe a week or two in the can, unless you put it in the freezer. And I've had this for probably about 8 months, and I just keep using it every time I need it. Just need to warm it up, which it's doing in the sun. So I think these turned out great. Go ahead and leave them here. We'll come back when it's time to clear coat them. Well, a few hours later, and these are dry and installed and looking like they should. I did end up painting the centers black just to, I guess, give a little definition. And it did come with the little, so you can see them, little gaskets, rubber gaskets. I did clean those and they're black, and so I think those look a lot better. Hard to tell in the shade, but they are the same color as the car. One more project done, on to the next one. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. Well, right now I think I'm going to do kind of a cosmetic repair on these nostrils here. I removed them. There's just 4 fasteners holding them onto the back. They're very easy to come off, but they've got a lot of chips on them. This one's got some broken fasteners that have been maybe like plastic welded before, not very well. Anytime you find these things used, they're super brittle. They're really hard to come by in good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and give these a light sand, maybe try to get some of these some of those pits, and then do the best I can with some paint that I have pretty close. This one actually looks pretty good. I will then put some 2K clear over top. So let's get started. All right, I've got one of them done, primered, and you can see a couple little chips. There's one there and one there. I may fill those with some spot putty and you know, kind of give it another coat before I finish it. I do have this one. I did put a little spot putty and sanded it smooth, so I'm going to go ahead and primer that and see how that looks. All right, waited for these to dry. I did put a little spot putty in the chips, this U-pole stuff. I like this. It does seem to take a while to dry, but it's pretty hot today. It's about 95 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, so hopefully this will cure relatively soon so I can sand those, give it another coat of primer, and then base and clear. All right, I'm gonna give it a coat of the base. Now this just happens to be what I have, but it's engine enamel in the color of cast iron, which is pretty darn close to what the color that used to be. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna put a couple coats of 2K clear over top of it to give it the gloss and protection that it needs. So if you like coats of this, then we wait some more. Okay, the base is done, and I'm gonna give it some coats of this 2K clear. The label fell off. I put this in the freezer. I opened it a long time ago, and I find that, I mean, this stuff's expensive. It's like 25 bucks a can, but if you put it in the freezer, which you don't use, this will last pretty much indefinitely. I mean, this is probably a year old and it's just as good as the day that I originally opened it. So a few coats of that, and that will dry quickly, and then we'll be able to reassemble. All right, these are done and back together. I'm not super happy with them. The color is off just a little bit, but unfortunately that's the color that I had. But I can search for a slightly darker gray. This is just a little too green, I guess. But at least that's done. They are not perfect, but I will search for some different paint and redo them in the future. While I wait, I'm gonna give this belt molding and the passenger side a coat of this SEM trim black. So I've cleaned it and it's overall in good shape, but it's just a little faded and it may not come out on camera, but it'll look a lot better with this. So let's get this done. Got the passenger side done. I did 3 coats on each side. So let this dry and take it off. So with that, we'll close out this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave your comments below. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.